Okay, let's look at Faro Lady's most recent buff. So Faro Lady got quite a big buff here from the test server side. We're going to be able to see the first one here in which we adjust external tray cloak to automatically enter cloak state when near the hunter from 20 to 18 meters. Now then, this could be considered a buff, and let me explain to you why it could be considered a buff. If it's reduced from 20 meters to 18 meters, then that simply just means that you can be in invisibility mode for just an even longer time compared to 20 meters. But how could this also be considered a nerf as well? This also could be considered a nerf simply just because of the fact that if it's reduced from 20 meters to 18 meters, when you use your skill of trying to throw down threads to another direction, it will be limited as well, as you do see here. Because the moment you get out from that 80 meters, maybe you'll just be alerted towards a hunter a little bit earlier than you would want to compared to the 20 meters. So for me right now, the first skill is more or less of a, how do I say, it's more or less of adjustment. There's a little bit of a buff side and there's a little bit of a nerf side. Now the next buff is going to be we adjust the external tray cloak, in which, as you can see here as well, we do see where exposure is at. Exposure will be marked at 40% right there. If your exposure is below 40% and you leave the hunter's range, you will not be alerted to the hunter. But of course, if you have 40% or extra exposure, you will be marked towards the hunter. Now, with that in mind, another part of Faro Lady's buff is the fact that her alert duration will be reduced from, I think, 3 seconds or 2.5 seconds to 1.5 seconds. That's simply because of the fact that 1.5 seconds is a tiny bit, like 2.3 seconds or 2.5 seconds is a little bit too long. When it comes to, you know, being alerted. So the hunter like Geisha or BQ can just dash or mirror towards you and then you'll get a hit immediately, which is kind of a bit of an issue here, which is why the, you know, patchers decided to buff this part as well. The next buff is if your cloak exposure is less than 40%, when you vault pallets or windows, you will still stay in invisibility mode. So as we can see here, it is pretty nice. But of course, once it is after 40%, you will be shown immediately, as you can see here as well. A part of the next buff is going to be the fact that, you know, when Faro Lady does any big movements like flywheel, rescuing, etc., when cloak exposure is beneath 40%, it will also be cancelled. As you see here as well, it got cancelled immediately. So there's kind of the flexibility on that side. So vaulting pallets, dropping pallets, and then decoding cipher machines and opening exit gates will not end cloaked state, will not end your invisibility state. And one of other Faro Lady's buff is the fact that when she is getting cipher machines from a cipher, instead of reducing the other cipher by 1.5%, it will be reduced by 1% per second instead. So we'll see here. So we link up towards this one, and then we'll decode this. As you can see, it is currently 1% per second. It was previously 1.5 seconds, so this is a relative like one-to-one situation here. And we also can't forget about the fact that she decodes at 25, 20, 15% extra decoding speed based on how far the cipher machine is. So in a nutshell, it's kind of like just transferring the cipher but also getting decoding speed boost. So this is quite a nice buff here for Faro Lady as well. Okay, the next part of Faro Lady's buff is the fact that her rescuing debuff has been reduced from 100% to 60% right now. So as we can see here, it's a little bit faster compared to the 100% slower rescuing speed from survivors and Rocketcher, has now been reduced to 60%. Now, I'm just gonna demonstrate to you how fast we rescue right after getting hit. So that's that. That's a hit, and then we rescue. And then by the time we rescue, the hunters are around, you know, 50-60% done with their attack recovery animation. Of course, this is for Woo, so Woo is just a tiny bit faster on that point, I guess. Now then, the last buff would be the fact that exposure will not be indicated to Hunter when Faro Lady is nearby. This is a pretty good buff here as well for Faro Lady, as now the Hunter can't actually know if it's a Faro Lady that's nearby that's in invisibility mode, or it's just someone else that's hiding. But of course, that's going to be the end of today for Faro Lady. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye for now.